The true measure of a person isn't what they achieve, but what they overcome. No one ever really gets over anything. They just learn to live with it. Life doesn't come with guarantees, but it does come with chances. True love is not about finding someone to live with, it's about finding someone you can't imagine living without. You can't change your past, but you can change your future by what you do today. You don't always need a plan. Sometimes you just need to breathe, trust, let go, and see what happens. Some people are meant to stay in your heart forever, but not in your life. The worst kind of sadness is not the one that leaves you in tears, but the one that leaves you numb. There's no such thing as a perfect life, but there's always room for perfect moments. Don't be afraid to start over. It's a chance to build something better. Sometimes the hardest part isn't letting go, but learning to start again. The more you try to control life, the more it slips away. Life is not about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. You can only change yourself, not others, and that's where the real work begins. Some of the most beautiful things in life are the things we cannot hold on to. The best way to predict your future is to create it. You can't pour from an empty cup. Take care of yourself first. Sometimes, it's the small moments that make life big. When you let go of the past, you make room for a brighter future. The most beautiful souls are often the ones who've been through the most. Some people you meet, and they change everything about you. Others, you forget as soon as you meet them. Life doesn't owe you anything, but sometimes it gives you exactly what you need. Sometimes we have to walk away from certain people, not because we no longer care, but because we've outgrown them. You don't need to have everything figured out. Just take one step at a time. The things that hurt us the most are often the things that teach us the most. You don't always get what you want, but you get what you need. The right people will come into your life when you're ready for them, not when you want them. Sometimes the hardest thing and the right thing are the same. The universe doesn't give you the people you want, it gives you the people you need. We don't realize how much strength we have until we're forced to use it. Every ending is the start of something new, even if we can't see it yet. Sometimes the best thing you can do is let go and let life unfold as it should. Life will test you, but the best way to pass the test is to never stop trying. The most beautiful things in life are often hidden in the most unexpected places. Healing doesn't mean the damage never existed. It means the damage no longer controls our lives. The worst kind of sadness is not being able to explain why. It's hard to forget someone who gave you so much to remember. Some days, I'm okay. Other days, I feel like I'm drowning in my own emotions. Sometimes, the person you love the most is the one who hurts you the deepest. The pain of losing someone you love is a void that never fully heals. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving someone too much and forgetting that you are special too. I wish I could go back to the time when I didn't know you. Sometimes, it's not the tears that need to be shed, but the silence that needs to be understood. I don't want to be forgotten, but I feel like I'm slowly fading away. You don't realize how much someone means to you until they're no longer there. I keep telling myself that I'm okay, but I know I'm lying. The hardest part of being strong is that no one knows when you're breaking inside. We often forget the things that we should remember, and remember the things that we should forget. The silence is louder when you wish someone would speak to you. Sometimes goodbye is a second chance, but it's still the hardest thing to say. Sometimes the one who was supposed to stay is the one who leaves first. No one tells you that the hardest part of moving forward is learning to forget. The hardest goodbyes are the ones you never get to say. It hurts when you realize you're not as important to someone as you thought you were. Sometimes you have to walk away, even if it breaks your heart. The loneliest place in the world is being surrounded by people who don't understand you. I miss the person you used to be before everything changed. The scars you can't see are the ones that hurt the most. The more I see, the less I know for sure. We are all different crayons in a box, but the world tries to make us the same. Sometimes you have to let go to see if there was anything worth holding on to. Do not follow where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. It's not what you look at that matters, it's what you see. The only true wisdom is in knowing you know nothing. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. The purpose of life is not to be happy. It is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, to have it make some difference that you have lived and lived well. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, but we often spend so much time worrying about the next steps, we forget to enjoy the one we're taking. What you do today is important because you are exchanging a day of your life for it. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. If you knew how quickly people forget the dead, you would stop living to impress people. Sometimes, the one who loves you is the one who hurts you the most. The most painful goodbyes are the ones that are never said but felt. The worst kind of sadness is not the one that leaves you in tears, but the one that leaves you numb. You can't stop the future. You can't rewind the past. The only way to learn the secret is to press play. It's not the goodbye that hurts, it's the flashbacks that follow. Some scars are too deep for the eye to see. The hardest part of moving on is realizing that the other person already has. The worst feeling is not being lonely, but being forgotten. Sometimes you have to let go of the one person who made you feel alive. Nothing hurts more than being disappointed by the one person you thought would never hurt you. You were never mine, but I still feel the loss as if you were. The pain of losing someone isn't in their absence, but in the absence of the future you planned with them. People change, and so do their feelings. Sometimes the love fades away, and you're left with nothing. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. There's a certain sadness that comes with knowing you can't make everyone happy. It's not the distance that's the problem, but the silence in between. Sometimes you have to cry to let the pain out, because words can't express the hurt. You can love someone so much, but you can't make them feel the same. Life is a cruel game. You spend it loving someone, only to find they never loved you back. No matter how much you want someone to stay, sometimes they just have to leave. People may not remember exactly what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. Time doesn't heal all wounds. Some wounds are too deep to ever truly heal. The hardest part about saying goodbye is knowing it's the last time. It hurts when someone you love becomes a memory. Sometimes the person who was supposed to save you is the one who destroys you. Loving someone who doesn't love you back feels like drowning. You can't keep waiting for something that's never going to happen. It's easier to be alone than to be with someone who makes you feel lonely. Sometimes, you have to let go of someone you love, not because you want to, but because it's the only choice left. The worst kind of pain is when you're smiling on the outside, but dying on the inside. Some people are meant to come into your life for a reason, but sometimes that reason is only to hurt you. The saddest thing is to be surrounded by people, but still feel completely alone. It's not the time that heals the pain, but how you choose to deal with it. The people who hurt you the most are often the ones you never expected to. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. Believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there is something inside you that is greater than any obstacle. What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. That's what the storm is all about. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. The difference between who you are and who you want to be is what you do. Be not afraid of life. Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact. The only limit to our realization of tomorrow is our doubts of today. The best way to gain self-confidence is to do what you are afraid to do. The pessimist sees difficulty in every opportunity. The optimist sees opportunity in every difficulty. A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst, and it sparks extraordinary results. Success isn't just about what you accomplish in your life, it's about what you inspire others to do. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass, it's about learning how to dance in the rain. Do not go where the path may lead. Go instead where there is no path and leave a trail. Success is not measured by what you accomplish, but by the obstacles you overcome. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Take the moment and make it perfect. You are capable of more than you know. Take pride in how far you've come. Have faith in how far you can go. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. The only way to discover the limits of the possible is to go beyond them into the impossible. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. Sometimes the smallest step in the right direction ends up being the biggest step of your life. You will never always be motivated, so you must learn to be disciplined. Your greatest test is when you are able to bless someone else while you are going through your own storm. The worst thing about being strong is that no one ever asks if you're okay. You never realize how lonely you are until you lose the one person who made you feel whole. You're not supposed to be sad forever. You're supposed to let the sadness fade so you can live again. The hardest part of moving on is learning to let go of someone you never wanted to let go. It's so sad how someone can be both your reason to smile and your reason to cry. Sometimes, you have to give up on people, not because you don't care, but because they don't. It's painful to realize that you can give your all to someone, and they can still walk away without a second thought. Some people only appear in your life for a season, and while they're here, they teach you lessons that you'll carry with you forever. The hardest part of healing is understanding that the person who hurt you is the one you trusted the most. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. The problem with being strong is that no one can ever tell when you're breaking down. You never realize the value of something until it's gone. In the end, we only regret the chances we didn't take. There's no worse feeling than trying to hold on to someone who is slipping away. Sometimes you just need someone to tell you that it's okay to cry. The pain is too deep for words, but the silence is even harder. Sometimes the one who is most silent is the one who is hurting the most. No matter how much you want it, some things just can't be fixed. It's okay to feel broken, just don't let yourself stay broken forever. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. It's not the ending that hurts the most, but the way everything just stops. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply keep going when the world says stop. Life is not about finding the right answers, but about learning to live with the right questions. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. Be careful what you tolerate. You are teaching people how to treat you. Every moment is a chance to change your destiny. Sometimes the only way to find yourself is by losing yourself in the process. Not all storms are meant to disrupt your life. Some are meant to clear your path. The most painful goodbyes are the ones that are never said but felt. We spend too much time waiting for the perfect moment when the perfect moment is right now. You can't force people to understand you, but you can force yourself to understand you. In the end, the only love that matters is the one you give to yourself. You never realize how strong you are until being strong is your only option. Sometimes the people who are supposed to stay forever leave the fastest. The hardest part of letting go is learning to live without them. Time heals nothing, but it teaches us to live with the scars. Some chapters in life are meant to be closed, not reread. You can't change the past, but you can change your future. Not every wound is visible. Some pain lies beneath the surface. We learn who we are in the moments that break us. People come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Sometimes you have to let things go to make room for better things. The heart wants what it wants, even if it's not what's best for it. True healing begins when you stop trying to fix what's broken. The biggest mistake you can make is to be afraid of making mistakes. Sometimes the right choice feels wrong because it's the hardest one. The greatest battles are often fought within our own minds. In the end, the most important things aren't things at all. You can't find peace by avoiding life. Some lessons are learned the hard way, but they stay with you forever. There's beauty in the struggle, but the strength comes from overcoming it. We don't heal in isolation, we heal in connection. Sometimes you have to lose yourself to find who you really are. The hardest part of change is not becoming who you want to be, but letting go of who you were. We often spend more time trying to find love than we do learning how to love ourselves. The people who truly matter don't mind when you're broken, they just stay and help you heal. Not everything in life is meant to be understood. Some things are meant to be experienced. Sometimes, it's the ones who hurt us the most that teach us the most. You can't control the way people treat you, but you can control how you react. In the end, it's not what happens to us that matters, but how we respond to it. Some endings are just new beginnings in disguise. What we're afraid to lose is often what we need to let go of. Life is too short to be anything but happy, yet too long to be wasted on things that don't matter. Every person you meet has a purpose, even if it's just to teach you something about yourself. Sometimes you don't have to let go to move on. Sometimes you just have to let it be. The darkest nights often produce the brightest stars. Sometimes the hardest battles are the ones we fight within ourselves. We are not just our circumstances, we are the sum of every choice we make. The most profound truths are often the simplest. It's just that we've forgotten how to listen to them. Loneliness is not a lack of people, but the absence of understanding. The more we learn to be alone, the more we realize how much of life's answers reside within us. Growth comes not when we seek comfort, but when we choose to face discomfort with courage. It is not the things we lose that haunt us, but the things we choose to never let go. We often look for meaning in the chaos, but sometimes the meaning is in simply surviving it. The heart is both a prison and a sanctuary. It holds the pain, but also the possibility of healing. Time doesn't heal. It simply teaches us to live with the scars. True wisdom is not in knowing all the answers, but in understanding that not all questions have one. There is a kind of beauty that exists only in brokenness, a grace that is found only after the fall. In the quietest moments, we hear the loudest truths about ourselves. We are all searching for something, but sometimes the journey is the destination. Happiness is not a destination, it's the way we travel through the pain and beauty of life. We fear what we cannot control, but often, it is the things we cannot control that lead us to growth. The soul is never lost, it's simply evolving, shifting, and growing in ways we might not always understand. Healing comes not by forgetting, but by learning to live alongside our scars. The most beautiful souls are often those who have weathered the fiercest storms. True peace is not found in the absence of pain, but in finding meaning through it. The darkest hours of our lives are often the ones that bring about the brightest transformations. The truth is not something you find, it's something you learn to see with new eyes. The deeper you go within yourself, the more you realize that all you ever needed was already there. We are all searching for the pieces of ourselves that we lost along the way. To be alive is to be in a constant state of change, and yet, so many of us resist it. There's no greater journey than the one that takes you inside yourself. The most painful goodbyes are the ones that are never spoken, but felt deep within the soul. We all wear masks, but sometimes we forget the weight of the one we carry. Everything we experience is temporary, and that is both the greatest tragedy and the greatest gift.